Welcome back. Well, this is a video that I knew would be coming at some point, but that doesn't make it any easier. Just wanted to say a few words in tribute on the passing of Ozzy Osbourne, one of the most legendary, colorful, and controversial personalities in the history of rock and roll, and that is not hyperbole. And I think the first thing that has to be said is what a way to go. What an Ozzy thing to pull off. It was barely 2 weeks ago that Ozzy performed his big farewell concert in his hometown of Birmingham, England, supported by a star-studded cast of heavy metal artists, pretty much all of whom owe their careers to Ozzy and Black Sabbath, who pretty much invented heavy metal in the early 1970s. We all knew Ozzy was very sick. He had been suffering from Parkinson's and other ailments over the last few years. There were all kinds of doubts as to whether he could pull off this show. I know I doubted it. I did a video a while back in which I wondered aloud whether he could pull it off. And pull it off he did with flying colors. There he was in his elaborate throne. You could tell he wanted to just jump out of that chair and roam the stage like he used to do. But he actually sounded quite good. And you know what? It really didn't matter. It was all about showering love on Ozzy that day. I can't help wondering if the strain and stress of preparing for that final gig might have hastened Ozzy's passing just a little bit. But you know what? That's the thing about Ozzy. Don't you get the sense that he wouldn't have changed a thing? Not only regarding that gig, but regarding his whole life. I think a lot of people are surprised that he lived as long as he did. He definitely lived fast. He lived hard. And I think that's one of the many things that endears him to so many people. We live vicariously through people like Ozzy. He does the things that we would never dare to do. I think there are several things that made Ozzy so special musically. Number one, of course, you have to talk about his voice. That foghorn sound, I don't know of any other way to describe it. Very little vibrato, almost robotic at times, but yet it works. Somehow it sounds so pleasing to listen to him sing. And the other thing I think is his sense of melody. Whether it was Black Sabbath or his solo work, there was always a melody there. And I think that's a lesson that a lot of younger heavy metal bands should take to heart. You could sing along with those songs no matter how heavy they got. I've always been convinced that Ozzy's great ear for melody came from his love of the Beatles. He was growing up in Birmingham during the height of Beatlemania. He came from a poor family, didn't have a whole lot of prospects other than working in a factory like everyone else did there at the time. And here was this band from not far away in Liverpool taking the world by storm. And the young Ozzy saw that and realized maybe rock and roll could be his ticket out. And damn it, if he didn't seize on that and make it a reality. Another thing that always really impressed me about Ozzy was the way he managed to resurrect himself after his departure from Black Sabbath. Let's face it, if you're a young guy in your early 20s and all of a sudden every vice you could ever imagine was being thrown at you day and night, there are many people that can't resist that. And sadly, Ozzy was one of them. So he was actually dismissed from Black Sabbath, and he thought his life was over. What else was Ozzy Osbourne going to do at that point with his life if he wasn't singing in a rock and roll band? But then with the help of Sharon Arden, who of course later became his wife and manager, Sharon Osbourne, he managed to pull himself out of it and came back stronger than ever. Now, I know Sharon is a very divisive figure in Ozzy Osbourne circles. We won't get into that, but the fact remains she really helped Ozzy get back on his feet. Now, even if Ozzy's music career had ended with Black Sabbath, he would still be on the Mount Rushmore of great and influential rock and roll singers. But incredibly, those first two albums he did with Randy Rhoads on guitar The Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman are all-time classics, giving us songs like Crazy Train, probably the song he will be most remembered for. Over the Mountain, Flying High Again. The list goes on and on. There are very few rock and roll singers who have had a second act as impressive as that. So I think I'm going to leave it there for now, but I'm going to do something else Ozzy themed over the next couple of weeks. Maybe a song breakdown. Let me know if there's a particular Sabbath or Ozzy tune that you guys would like to see me cover. And in the meantime, rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne. You are a legend. You always will be. Your music will live on, and millions still love you. Talk soon.